the Nightmarish Chimera experiment. Dr. Samuel Whitmore was a brilliant yet unhinged scientist, driven by an insatiable desire to unlock the secrets of life itself. His obsession led him down a path of darkness, experimenting with the manipulation of DNA to create entirely new species. Unbeknownst to the world, Dr. Whitmore's latest project involved splicing the DNA of a tiger with that of an Ambopteryx, a species of dinosaur that had bat-like membrane wings, hoping to create a monstrous prehistoric hybrid. Meanwhile, a group of college students, eager for excitement and adventure, decided to sneak into Dr. Whitmore's isolated laboratory. They had heard rumors of the mad scientist's experiments and were curious to see for themselves what lay hidden within the walls of his secretive facility. As they entered the dimly lit lab, the students were confronted with a horrifying sight. Dr. Whitmore's lifeless body sprawled across the floor, covered in deep gashes and surrounded by broken glass and overturned equipment. The shock quickly turned to terror as they realized that the abomination he had created was on the loose. The monstrous hybrid, which they dubbed the Chimerasaur, was a grotesque blend of tiger and giant bat. It had the powerful limbs and razor-sharp claws of a tiger, combined with the massive wings and nightmarish features of a giant reptilian bat. As it stalked the corridors of the laboratory, its chilling screech and guttural growls echoed through the building. The students knew that they had to escape the laboratory before the Chimerasaur found them. They split up, each one searching for a way out while avoiding the deadly predator. The once silent halls were now filled with the echoing cries of the creature and the frantic footsteps of the terrified students. As they navigated the labyrinthine facility, the students discovered the disturbing extent of Dr. Whitmore's experiments. The laboratory was filled with an array of grotesque chimeras, each more horrifying than the last, left to die in their cages and tanks. These twisted results of the scientists' relentless pursuit of knowledge seemed to defy the laws of nature. In one corner, a creature with the body of a venomous snake and the legs of a giant spider skittered across the floor, its fangs dripping with lethal venom. In another area, a monstrosity with the head of a piranha and the lower body of a scorpion scuttled about, its tail poised to strike with deadly accuracy, while its many rows of teeth chatter in hunger. In yet another enclosure, a bizarre combination of a gorilla and a giant octopus loomed. It had the muscular arms and torso of a gorilla, but instead of legs, it had 8 powerful tentacles that allowed it to move with surprising speed and agility. Its eyes were unsettlingly human-like, seeming to gaze into the souls of those who encountered it. In the darkest corner of the lab, a chimera that was part bear and part giant eagle lay in wait. It had the massive, furry body of a bear, but its wings were covered in razor-sharp feathers, capable of slicing through flesh with ease. Its beak was large enough to snap a human in half, and its piercing eyes gleamed with predatory intelligence. Each of these creatures was a testament to Dr. Whitmore's twisted genius and boundless ambition. He had pushed the limits of science and ethics, creating beings that should never have existed. The students couldn't help but shudder in revulsion and fear as they traversed the laboratory, encountering one nightmarish chimera after another. As the students cautiously made their way through the horrifying menagerie of twisted chimeras, they stumbled upon Dr. Whitmore's control room. The dimly lit chamber was filled with monitors displaying the various creatures and their enclosures. Amidst the complex array of buttons, switches, and dials, Mike noticed a large red button hidden beneath a protective cover. Upon further examination, they discovered that the button was labeled Self-Destruct Sequence. It seemed that in his madness, Dr. Whitmore had installed a failsafe to destroy his laboratory and the abominations it contained. The students exchanged nervous glances, each one silently considering the implications of activating the self-destruct sequence. "We have to do it," Sarah whispered, her voice trembling. "These creatures, they're not natural. They're suffering, and they're dangerous. If we don't end this now, who knows what could happen if they escape?" The others nodded in agreement, understanding the gravity of the situation. And with a heavy heart, Tom lifted the protective cover and pressed the self-destruct button.
Self-destruct sequence activated.
A robotic voice immediately blared through the speakers, announcing the activation of the self-destruct sequence and counting down from 10 minutes.
10 minutes till
As the countdown began, the students scrambled to escape the laboratory before it was reduced to rubble. They could hear the panicked roars and cries of the chimeras as they sensed the impending doom. As much as they pitied the creatures, the students knew that setting them free would have unleashed untold horrors upon the world. The students made their way through the labyrinthine corridors of the laboratory, racing towards the exit. Suddenly, they found themselves face to face with the Chimerasaur once more. The monstrous hybrid was enraged, aware of its impending doom, and it seemed intent on taking the students down with it. Realizing that they would have to work together if they hoped to escape, the students quickly formulated a plan. Each of them would use their unique skills to distract, evade, and outmaneuver the Chimerasaur, buying them precious time to make their escape. Sarah, the quick-thinking biology major, acted first. She grabbed a vial of potent chemicals from a nearby shelf and hurled it at the Chimerasaur. The vial shattered upon impact, releasing a noxious cloud that momentarily disoriented the creature, causing it to stagger and roar in confusion. Seizing the opportunity, Tom, the resourceful engineering student, rushed to the nearest electrical panel. He quickly rewired the circuits, diverting power to a set of overhead lights. With a flick of a switch, he flooded the area with a blinding light, further disorienting the Chimerasaur and buying them more time to escape. Meanwhile, Lisa, the agile psychology major, sprinted towards the beast. Just as it shook off the effects of the bright light, she deftly leaped over its snapping jaws, drawing its attention away from her friends. As the Chimerasaur pursued her, she nimbly dodged its every attack, her agility and quick reflexes keeping her out of reach of its deadly claws and teeth. Finally, Mike, the cunning computer science major, took advantage of the chaos to access the laboratory's security system once more. He quickly located the controls for the automated fire suppression system and activated it, filling the room with a dense cloud of fire-retardant foam. The Chimerasaur, already disoriented from the combined efforts of the students, was now completely blinded and disoriented. With the Chimerasaur temporarily neutralized, the students regrouped and made their way towards the exit. The alarms continued to blare, and the countdown relentlessly ticked away as they raced through the corridors, their hearts pounding with fear and adrenaline. They could hear the Chimerasaur's enraged roars echoing through the halls, a chilling reminder of the danger that still lurked within the laboratory's walls. And just as the countdown reached its final seconds, the students burst through the entrance and sprinted to a safe distance. They watched in a mixture of awe and relief as the laboratory exploded in a massive fireball, consuming the twisted creations within. The ground shook beneath their feet as the remnants of Dr. Whitmore's life's work crumbled to dust. Their harrowing experience had left them shaken, but alive. Their lives forever changed by the horrors they had witnessed. The story of the Chimerasaur and the mad scientist's twisted experiments remained a closely guarded secret, known only to the survivors and those who dared to explore the abandoned laboratory. A chilling reminder of the dangers of unchecked ambition and the darker side of scientific curiosity. The tale of Dr. Whitmore's Chimera serves as a warning to those who seek to manipulate the very fabric of life.